Trauma is often very complex and it can be misunderstood. People can react to traumatizing circumstances in many different ways. People are individuals. People protect themselves in different ways. People can downplay behaviours in order to protect themselves. Trauma can manifest in many different ways, and sometimes they can manifest in ways that resemble narcissistic behaviours, leading to misunderstandings about an individual's motives or an individual's intentions, motives, an individual's emotional state of mind. Sometimes the person who is acting emotionally unstable is the person who has been or is being emotionally abused. When someone is struggling with trauma, they can potentially become emotionally detached in order to protect themselves. Trauma survivors might struggle to emotionally connect, leading to behaviours that can potentially seem indifferent or self-centred. They can isolate themselves away from people, not wanting to deal with the world around them. This detachment can be misrepresented as a lack of empathy, a typical sign of narcissism. However, more often than not, when it's coming from a trauma survivor, it's not that they lack empathy. They're not going around hurting and punishing other people with that emotional detachment. They're punishing themselves. Hypervigilance is another one. Hypervigilance is a classic of a covert narcissist who tends to perceive everything as a direct insult, a direct threat to themselves. A trauma survivor, someone with a traumatic history, can be excessively alert to perceived threats, which can come across as being self-absorbed. They can be hyper-vigilant to criticism due to being constantly criticised by a narcissistic individual, which narcissists don't even like the most constructive of feedback. They can seem solely focused on their own needs and feelings, overlooking other people's emotional cues, appearing as though they lack empathy. Trauma survivors can become very defensive. The perception's kind of gone out of the window. So when someone says something to them due to being attacked previously, they think somebody's going on a personal attack. So they can push people away, or they can be overly critical or judgmental, trying to work out what people are actually meaning by what they're saying. This can mimic defensive tactics of narcissistic individuals when they feel threatened or vulnerable. Trauma survivors can go for validation of their experience, trying to work out what's happened, which can come across as attention seeking. When a victim is telling their story, they are the actual victim. When they are the actual victim, people can feel that sympathetic attention to them. So when it comes to attention seeking, trauma survivors might engage in these behaviours to cope with feelings of abandonment, with feelings of confusion, with feelings of neglect, trying to work out the experience. And it can resemble the narcissist's need for excessive admiration. Though the narcissist stems from a fear of not being seen, not being heard, not being valued, a victim is more confused about what has actually happened to them and trying to navigate their way through life. Blame shifting. When someone has done something to you, they did it, that's their fault. You can pass responsibility back to the rightful owner. However, narcissistic individuals will hold grudges against others for the things that they actually did to others. They use Jennifer Freud's DAVA, where they deny attack and reverse the roles of victim and offender. So they shift the blame onto everybody else. Those with unresolved trauma might question other people, doubt other people. They might refuse to take responsibility for things that aren't their fault because they've done that for way too long, leading to behaviours that might resemble narcissism. There can be an inability to regulate emotions. As I said earlier, sometimes the person acting emotionally unstable is the person being emotionally abused. However, with a narcissist, they can turn it on and off depending on the audience they are around. With a victim, they usually explode inappropriately because they can no longer regulate their emotions. Trauma can impair emotional regulation, causing outbursts or mood swings that can be perceived as potentially needing anger management. A narcissist can control their anger when needed, yet they will push your buttons to a point where you explode out at them, and then they stand back and act calm and accuse you of being the one that's going crazy. This emotional instability can mimic narcissistic behaviour when individuals struggle to manage their feelings. There's that fear of vulnerability. Traumatised individuals often avoid vulnerability to protect themselves from further pain, resulting in a facade of strength or superiority that can be mistaken for narcissism. Understanding these distinctions is essential for addressing the underlying trauma while recognising that their behaviours might not stem from narcissistic personality. Your behaviours might not stem from narcissism, but rather from unresolved pain and unresolved trauma, leading to coping mechanisms that need to then lead to healing. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on this channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. I do also have a few limited one-to-one slots available. If you're looking for a licensed therapist to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is in the video description. I do also have several books out on Amazon: How to Create Boundaries, around those who have no respect for your boundaries. The new book, which is the novel of Behind the Mask, The Rise of a Narcissist. 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People, How to Stay Sane and Break the Chain. A Narcissists Handbook, the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse. And Healing from Narcissistic Abuse, a guided journal for empowerment and recovery, or recovery and empowerment, which is less reading and more journaling. If anyone is interested in any of those books, please go and take a look at those on Amazon. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.